What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode, Mastering Post-Production Sound. Joel Catalan here, sound re-recording mixer. Today I am joined by a very special guest, supervising sound editor and extraordinarily wonderful human being, Jeffrey Fuller. Jeffrey Fuller, say hello.
Hey there.
Okay, so Jeff today's going to talk about folder tracks. All right, Jeff, welcome to the channel. We're literally on the stage, and we're going to talk folder tracks.
Oh my gosh. So
why do you like them?
Well, I deal with hundreds of tracks because I'm receiving elements from all over the world, whether it's ADR from here, ADR from every principal, group tracks, sound effects, dialogue edits, everything. And if you look at my sessions, they probably have hundreds and hundreds of tracks. But the way I organize it is I make folders. We make folders, and then my session looks nice and neat and clean, and then they go, oh, well, I need to go to the AAF. I can literally just scroll down, and the shortcut is Shift F, and that will open up your folder, and you can see everything that's in your folder. And then if you're worried about using all your CPU, you make that folder inactive. Or,
ooh, there you go, yeah.
Yeah. You can also, if you're mixing, you can make that a routing folder, which is very similar to a bus. Yeah. So I like folders. Unlike some people, some people like just to have their stuff all over the place.
Some people.
I wouldn't know. I'm not to mention any names, Joel. But
I don't use them, I know.
I know. You do use VCAs, which is
I do
amazing.
use VCAs,
Yeah, VCAs is great,
Now, if you hid your picture, could you show us your folders?
I don't have any, but I will hide my picture, and I will then show you how to make a folder.
Ooh, we like that, right? We like real-time stuff. Okay, I'm gonna come around. Okay.
Come around. Okay, so you see, here's what I have. This is basically a principal ADR and a group ADR session, which is kind of my starting point for our show. So then what I do, my first thing I do is I make cues for every talent. And then when I'm done with that, as we move on, I right-click over here, move to folder, and I call that ADR cues, right? And then look what happens. It folds up there, and I can go Apple F. Look at all those tracks gone. Now I have all this nice clean space for everything. So what will happen is I get those cues, which are basically groups on your audio tracks, and then it's read by another application we call Edicue.
Edicue, yeah.
Edicue, which creates the PDFs and your, like all of your imported stuff for your ADR sessions. Okay, so then what I do is I will put them on these tracks, and this is just the beginning of an episode. So this is my template. Right, I love it. So, but by the end of this, give this a couple weeks, and this will have like 200 or 300 tracks in it.
Woo!
But it's all in just folders. Track count doesn't make you God, but how you handle it does.
How you handle it does. Oh, right there.
Boom!
That's like freaking wisdom.
Aaron's over here rolling his eyes. He's like, Jesus Christ.
No, this is good. This is good stuff because, as a mixer, I don't use them because my template, I think it really came from when those came out. Mm-hmm. The rigs that we were using at the time, they didn't have the updated Pro Tools, so it was like, oh, let's just keep it easy and just stayed that way. Yeah. But folders are awesome. When I did that film, I did a film last year. We had folders and stuff like that, so it was great.
So nice.
Well, that's awesome. Any last tips about folders or things that you should know? Last bits of wisdom?
Last bits of wisdom is, for folders. Well, you can use folders like buses too. You can, depending on how you want. Yeah. You can, and that way, what you can do is if you have a routing folder called a reassign, right? And on that reassign, you can say your EQ and your dynamics that you have for that. So you have a dialogue reassign folder, right? And use that like a bus, and then put say your EQ on it, your dynamic EQ, your de-esser, your compressor. Put that chain in there, and then you're using one channel of effects as opposed to 50.
I love it. Okay, last thing before I let you go.
My name is Jeff Fuller.
You can check him out below. I'll leave his IMDb.
JeffFullerSound.com.
There you go. That's what I want to know. But the last thing I want to know is, what would you tell your 20-year-old self? Let's say you go back when you started in the industry, right? What's one thing you know now that you wish you knew back when you started?
Do I know now? I've had be patient. Don't expect to know. Do not be afraid to ask questions. Do you want to hear a story about asking questions?
I would love to hear a story.
Okay, so many years ago, about 13 years ago, I got employed to do a show for HBO. It was a musical show, and I knew nothing. I knew about mixing, but the client was a very high-profile client, and I did not know, like, I want this to sound the best it can possibly sound. And I went through the hoops. I wound up even calling HBO in New York, going, I'm working on this show. Can I send you samples? Because I'm not afraid to ask questions, and I'm not afraid to say if I made a mistake. Ask that guy. And that's how you learn, right? And the end result of that was I wound up winning an Emmy for Best Mixing for that show. It was called Sonic Highways, featuring the Foo Fighters.
Foo Fighters.
And it was a great show. It was one of the best experiences of my life, only because I asked questions.
So, lesson of the day, ask questions.
Yes.
Jeff Fuller, you're the best.
Thank you.
Thanks for gracing us with your presence and your wisdom. All right, so that's it for this week's episode. Special shout out and thanks to Jeff Fuller. Go check out all his stuff. Information will be linked below. I'll catch you in a video over here on the side or in next week's episode.